Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Varsity TV studios for another week of the League by Varsity All-Star Weekly Series. I'm Amber Salas. Thank you so much for joining us here today. It was another great weekend out at Spirit Cheer Super Nationals where those first 700 points of the season were earned, and we're already about to jump right back into it with a huge weekend out in the Midwest region. We're going to cover it all in this week's episode and get to take our first look at the leaderboard this season. I'm ready for an awesome week, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. All season long, we are tracking some of the most exciting teams in cheerleading by keeping an eye on their performances and all those points that they're earning in the League by Varsity All-Star. And these events have been going strong since the very start of the season, but this week we are finally getting our first look at the leaderboard. So before we do, just want to give you all some quick reminders. Remember, those regional races are keeping track of a team's top 6 point totals from Varsity All-Star events. And there's always room to drop a lower score, especially as some of these teams start competing at those supranational events worth 700 points. The leaderboard is going to update every single Tuesday for the rest of the season, and you can follow along by finding it on tv.varsity.com and clicking on the standings tab. We also have a how-to video for you on Varsity TV right now if you need a quick refresher. But let's go ahead and take our first look at some of these races. First up, we're going to take a look at the League 6 Co-Ed. All-Star Revolution Freedom is in that top spot with 2,000 points from the Level 6 Limited Co-Ed Extra Small Division. They are the only team that has competed at 4 events so far this season. That's how they've gotten those 2,000 points. Central Jersey All-Stars Team Guns is also adding their name to the mix. They are currently tied here in 6th place with Max All-Star Cheer Senior Stars. 2 first-place finishes for Team Guns at a 600-point event and a 700-point event has them off to a great start. And also, just want to call out several of these teams in the top 10. They're pretty much picking up right where they left off last season on the leaderboard. Woodlands Elite Black Ops tied for that 2nd spot. Stars Vipers Hiss, Max Senior Stars, we've seen them on the leaderboard quite a bit. And Spirit of Texas Royalty down at number 9. So awesome to see these teams on the leaderboard once again. But now let's also go ahead and take a look at the League 6 All-Girl. Man, Woodlands Elite, 2 teams tied for first place. Let's hear it for Woodlands Elite Generals and Woodlands Elite Red Angels, both of them with 1,700 points. Both teams have attended 3 events. That's how they've gotten those 1,700 points. And it's awesome to already see Red Angels climbing their way on the leaderboard as they take on the Level 6 Senior Medium Division this season. Cheers and More Lady Respect also coming in 3rd place with 1,600 points there. That's 3 first-place finishes for them so far this season at League by Varsity All-Star events. But now, let's take a quick look at some more of these region races as well. D1 Senior in the Midwest, it is looking close so far. The top 3 teams all have been to 3 events. 1st and 2nd place only separated by 1 point here, 1,274, 1,273. Dakota Spirit Apollo is in 3rd place with 1,244 points. That's going to be a fun one to keep an eye on. If you have time right now, I want you to go to Varsity TV and check out all these D2 races. Most of these teams have already been to 4 events already, which is awesome to see. I want to specifically take a look at the D2 Youth region in the Southwest. The top 3 teams, they've competed at 4 events. Thunder Elite Voltage already has 2,000 points right there, taking first place at all 4 of those events they've competed at so far. Well, there are some great races that you can go look at right now on tv.varsity.com. We hope you do. But I also want to call out that this upcoming weekend, for the first time ever, teams have the opportunity to compete at both the majors and JamFest Cheer Super Nationals, both in that Midwest region in Indianapolis. That means there's 1,200 points on the line in just one weekend for the teams that take advantage of this. And what a great opportunity. It would be very impressive if one of those 6 teams who are registered for both events can go out there and do it. I think it would show that a team is poised and consistent as this busy time of the season starts to pick up. But we're going to chat more about that in just a little bit. We are getting ready to see 27 teams take the stage at the majors on Friday night for one of the most special nights in cheerleading. One team that is quite familiar with those bright majors lights is Cheer Extreme SSX in the Level 6 Senior Small Division. They are the reigning Majors Grand Champions with the highest overall score of the event last season, and they have 7 total Majors titles. This season, they're going for number 4 in a row. SSX is always made up of dedicated and hardworking athletes, and this season that includes one athlete who went all in to live the American dream.
Hi, I'm Lachey Bravo. I'm from Nottingham, and I'm on Cheer Extreme SSX. What made me want to come to Cheer Extreme was watching all of their teams at Worlds and seeing how amazing they did, and I wanted to be a part of the SSX legacy. It feels so surreal because I've been doing cheer for 10 years and I haven't felt a team that has quite as much talent as SSX and a supportive gym as much as Cheer Extreme. It really is a whole family. It feels so incredible to be on a team with such talented girls. The fact that we can hit our routine multiple times in and out of the gym in December just really proves how great Cheer Extreme and SSX is. This year, I'm most looking forward to going to all the major comps like Majors, NCAA and Worlds with this team and getting to experience the year with SSX and just the American dream, basically. I want to say a big thank you to my parents who made this happen. I know it's not easy. It cost a lot of time. A lot of money has gone into it. My parents even surprised me this weekend. I also want to thank my gym, Comfy Dynamite, for getting me here because I really wouldn't be in the position that I'm in without them and my coaches from back home.
SSX has a big opportunity ahead of them this weekend. They're taking on the challenge of competing at both the Majors and JamFest Cheer Super Nationals. They've been hitting clean, solid routines all season long so far, so keep an eye out for them to see if they can earn those 1,200 points. Well, this weekend is a very special one out in Charlotte, North Carolina at Spirit of Hope Grand Nationals. Not only are we going to see some incredible performances, but we will also be remembering the inspiring story of Hope Stout, who so bravely battled a rare form of osteosarcoma. I'm so excited and honored to have Stuart and Shelby Stout joining us today. Hope Stout's parents. Thank you both for joining us today. How are y'all doing today?
We're great. Thank you, Amber, for having us.
Doing wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, let's start with this. Hope was involved in the cheer world. She was a middle school cheerleader. We have to know, what are some of the best memories you all have of watching Hope cheer on those sidelines?
Well, I have to tell you that our first experience was Hope was the sibling that had to follow around the Charlotte All-Star. That was our middle child. And she got to go on all the trips with Holly and experience all the fun places that you go on when you do the competitions. And then she decided she was going to be a cheerleader herself. And that's when she was in the middle school. Where she made it in the 6th grade. Unfortunately, she had made it. Her legs started hurting right about then, and she never actually got to cheer with the team, but she was there. She was there with them on the stands.
Well, Hope was always thinking of others. One very special story was with Make-A-Wish, where Hope's wish was to make 155 other people's wishes come true. What more can you say just about that compassion and selflessness that Hope always brought?
Well, initially what happened was the Make-A-Wish Foundation came to her largely because her two older sisters, Austin and Holly, had done some work with Make-A-Wish at our high school, local high school here. And so when they came to, they did a rush wish for Hope because we knew that things were kind of bad in terms of her health. And so when they came to the house here, they asked her what her wish was going to be. And, she soon figured out that there were other kids ahead of her. So her wish, she said, listen, I want to do some things when I'm better, but my wish right now is to grant the wishes of all the other children ahead of me, all 155. And what was important about that is that Make-A-Wish at the time here in Charlotte really didn't have a whole lot of money, and this was $1 million wish. The average wish was around $5,500, $6,000 at the time. So all of a sudden, Make-A-Wish has been given this monumental task by this little girl, and the more they tried to talk her out of it, the worse it got. And so,
but I think you ask, maybe how did she come up with this wish? As you go and you travel, like we did with Holly, and she got to go to Nashville and she got to go to Orlando, she found out that she was pretty blessed to be able to go to these places that the other kids were asking to go. And we had always raised our kids to think of others. We did a lot of mission work when they were kids in church. So this was not unusual for her to make that wish after she had been in the hospital and saw that she was much blessed than a lot of the other kids that were there.
What an inspiring story right there. Hope's memory lives on daily now through the March 4th with Hope Foundation. What can you tell us about what the foundation is up to today and how people can get involved?
She was in the hospital. We had made a promise to her after she saw all these kids that maybe didn't have their parents with them. The parents might have had to be at work. They might have just lost their job, that we would do something to help these families when she got better. And she got better, not the way we wanted her to get better, but she was fully healed and is in heaven now. But so we started the March 4th with Hope Foundation, and Stuart will tell you that this does help families with their non-medical bills.
Right. And so what happened was when she was sick, a bunch of my friends got together and did a golf tournament. And the proceeds from that were to help our family because we were really going through, this catastrophic event. And so after Hope's passing, after her final expenses and everything, there was around $23,000 left over. And so we got together and we said, well, we want to do something very intentional. So we came up with the idea of helping these families that went through the same thing that we did. And March 4th is her birthday. It's the only command of the 365 days. So that's the name of the foundation. And we have been so blessed with the foundation supporters and the things that we've done for the last 20 years now.
And the Spirit of Hope being one of the biggest.
The Spirit of Hope is the tip of the spear. It's the one that really got it going and kept it going. So we've helped. Our record keeping wasn't the greatest in the first couple of years, but we did have we do 350 or so families and over $1 million worth of relief. And what we do is three things: rent and mortgage, transportation, and utilities. And the idea is to keep the family unit together. And by the way, these are people that fill out a HIPAA compliant form with a social worker, and they're truly people that need help. And that's who we focus on.
March 4th. I love that so much. How special there as well. And you mentioned it, Hope's memory is also living on through the Spirit of Hope Grand Nationals competition with Varsity All-Star. How special is it to see this event go down every year in Hope's name?
Well, when Holly was a cheerleader at Charlotte All-Stars, they did while Hope was still with us, did an exhibition of Hope, which they did their routines and raised money for our family and one other family. So that started really the Spirit of Hope. Later on, as Hope left us and we kind of got our head around what we were going to do with the foundation, and we changed the name to the Spirit of Hope, with her being there with us in spirit and inspiring these other kids to know that you can make a difference. Hope was no one special, not a lot of money, not a movie star, but you alone can make a difference if you just put your mind to it. And we just thank them for keeping our daughter alive for, it's been 21 years now. And these kids weren't even born when this happened, but they can be just like her and carry on her legacy and help others. And that's what life's all about.
Awesome. Well, we are so excited to see all the action this weekend, and we know that Hope will be right there close at heart. For more information, you can visit the website March 4th with Hope. Thank you both so much for joining us, and we're going to see you all this weekend at Spirit of Hope as well.
Yeah, we'll be there Sunday.
We'll see you there.
Awesome. Thank you both so much for joining us.
Okay, thank you so much for having us.
Bye-bye.
Well, the first Super Nationals event of the season is now officially in the books with some great routines and moments that we want to break down. So joining us now, the one and only Alex Gajoli from Cheer Theory. Alex, so good to see you again. If you had one word to best describe this first weekend of cheerleading in 2025, what would it be?
I would say explosive, because Central Jersey All-Stars bombshells blew the roof off the convention center at Spirit Cheer both days and secured their first 0 of the season on day 2. It was truly amazing. I think I had 15 people text me after they performed on day 2, you included, and it was just a really fun routine to watch.
For sure. I've been having so much fun watching them. Also, Central Jersey All-Stars as a whole, they've been going strong even since WSF Grand Nationals. But let's break it down. You've been keeping track of all those numbers. How are we looking so far in 2025?
Yeah, absolutely. So there were 3 Varsity World Split events last weekend. So let's start off with Spirit Cheer in New Jersey. There were 9 hit 0 performances for a 23% hit rate. Shout out to East Celebrity Elite Bomb Squad and Central Jersey All-Stars SWAT, who hit 0 both days. And it was Bomb Squad's first competition of the season, and wow, were they impressive. You know, the energy, the choreography, the confidence, it was amazing. I wouldn't call East Celebrity Elite a dark horse because they're a very well-renowned program, but Bomb Squad really came out of the gates swinging. It's super exciting to see. So heading over to Texas at ACA Grand Nationals, there were 6 hit 0 performances for a hit rate of 15.8%. Woodlands Elite GI Janes hit 0 both days and looked phenomenal. And fun fact, GI Janes now have the highest final event score in the U18 non-tumbling 6 division so far this season. Really great weekend for them. They had a great weekend at Encore to end 2024, and now they're coming out ready to go for 2025. And finally, out here in California at GSSA Grand Nationals, there was 1 hit 0 performance for the weekend. So we had a hit rate of 7.1%. Shout out to Kansas City Athletic Center Platinum for securing that 0 deduction routine. Super exciting to have that to begin the 2025 season.
Well, there you go. And I have really enjoyed watching GI Janes as well. I also got to visit with them this summer. They told me their mindset this season is kind of just that comeback story. And I think we're really starting to see that so far. So that's been awesome for sure. But looking ahead to next weekend, it's another big one. Spirit of Hope Grand Nationals, Mardi Gras Grand Nationals, and of course, JamFest Cheer Super Nationals and the majors. New this season, those teams competing at the majors can also compete at JamFest Cheer Super Nationals. Why is this such a big deal?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really awesome that teams competing at the majors now have the opportunity to take them out at JamFest. JamFest is one of the largest World Split events of the season, with teams traveling from all over the country to compete, and we'll see some of the deepest divisions so far, and that just makes things, super fun to watch for the fans, for athletes to compete against, some of the biggest names in the industry. So that's awesome. And in terms of league points, it's a great opportunity to secure one of your top scorers of this season.
For sure. And I think, like you said there, these divisions are deep. I think it's really going to show who's been working hard on being consistent, because it'll be very impressive if someone can come out and win both, especially with those deep divisions. But let's jump more into that. Who are these teams that we're going to see taking advantage of this opportunity?
Yeah, so there are 6 majors teams ready to take on JamFest. You have Stars Vipers Hiss, Gym Time Illinois Fever, South Coast Cheer Fearless, Cheer Extreme SSX, Maryland Twisters F5, and Cheer Extreme Senior Elite. And, like you said, it'll be super impressive, and it'll be a true test of athleticism for these teams to compete 3 days in a row. And it'll be really fun for the fans to see them several times in one weekend in one city. So I'm super excited, and I know other people are too.
Me as well. And Stars Vipers Hiss, talk about going big. This is their first time ever going in the majors, also taking advantage of that full weekend. So someone we're going to want to keep an eye on for sure. Alex, thank you so much for joining us. As always, we so greatly appreciate your insight.
Thanks so much, Amber. See you this weekend.
We'll see you all in Indy. And don't forget, those teams at both the majors and JamFest Cheer Super Nationals, that's the opportunity for 1,200 points in one weekend to the League by Varsity All-Star. As we continue to recap our first Super National event of the season, let's go ahead and take a deeper look here at some of these stats and numbers. One division that showcased some great routines all weekend was the Level 4 Senior Co-Ed D2 division. 5 teams competed in that division at Spirit Cheer Super Nationals, and here's how it all came out. Let's take a look at the top 3 teams. They all hit 0 on day 2. Finishing in third place was Port City Athletics Voodoo with a 95.833. In second place was TSC All-Stars Code Black, finishing with a 97.6333. And your national champions, winning those 700 points to the League by Varsity All-Star, was Dream Athletics Blackout with a 97.65. But let's also dive in and use one of our favorite new tools this season, the Hit Zero Meter. Alex mentioned it. The entire cheer world has been talking about Central Jersey All-Stars Bombshells in the Level 6 Senior Medium Division. What an awesome routine to watch this season. I think what's so fun about it is that it truly never stops. There is always something visual moving. They're performing incredibly difficult skills, and the energy stays up all routine long. At Spirit Cheer, they hit 1 out of 2 days for that hit 0. They have also competed at WSF Grand Nationals. They had some slight issues on both days at WSF Grand Nationals. We're talking very minor things. This routine is still so incredible to watch. But 1 out of 4 times that they've hit 0 so far this season, that's going to leave them at a 25% on the Hit Zero meter. But keep an eye out for Bombshells. Like I said, they have been the talk of the town. Their next big Varsity All-Star event will be NCA All-Star Nationals. We also talked about East Celebrity Elite Bomb Squad coming out strong in their first big competition of this season. They hit 0 on both days, taking the win in Level 6 Senior Small Co-Ed. That's a perfect 100% so far at their first competition, 100% on that Hit Zero meter. I loved the visual element of their hand-in-hand stunt transition, along with that fun little tumbling lift element to the double full right up front and center. Really enjoyed watching Bomb Squad this past weekend. It's time now for this week's question of the week, and as always, we're going to take a look back on last week, where we asked you all which competition is named after the inspirational story of a girl named Hope Stout. We just heard from the Stouts themselves. The answer to this one is Spirit of Hope Grand Nationals in Charlotte, North Carolina this weekend. But now, let's see what we got for this week. Another big weekend ahead, so go ahead, scan this QR code now. We want you all to join in on all of the fun for the question of the week. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen at the majors on Friday night. So here's what we want to know. We want your thoughts and opinions. Who do you think will be the majors grand champion? Grand champion means that team is the one that has the highest overall score of the entire event, regardless of division, the highest score at the majors Friday night. We want to hear what you all have to say. So don't forget, scan this QR code or head to tv.varsity.com to vote. There's 27 teams for you to choose from. And don't forget, you can follow along with the majors live on Varsity TV this Friday, January 17th. Well, that's just about all the time we have for today. But before we go, let's take a look at this loaded schedule we have for this upcoming weekend, jumping right back into another Super National event weekend. So here's a look at our upcoming events. JamFest Cheer Super Nationals out in the Midwest for 700 points. Also, of course, the majors on Friday night worth 500 points. Spirit of Hope Grand Nationals is going down for 600 points. And Mardi Gras Grand Nationals also worth 600 points. And we also have the Athletic Championships Phoenix Nationals worth 400 points. And you can, of course, find the schedule always by heading to tv.varsity.com and click on that schedules tab. And don't forget, for everyone tuning in for the majors on Friday night, we're going to have the League live show back in action. They'll be on site in Indianapolis, and you can follow along with their insight on Varsity TV. That's about all the time we have for today. We are so excited to see what's going to happen this weekend. Don't forget, follow along, go check out that leaderboard for yourself, and tune in this weekend for your front row seat to all the action. We'll see you next time.